Hello and welcome to Unity Insights English. Here I come with another interesting video about Unity learning. In today's session, we'll explore Unity game objects. Those who don't know me, I am Somnath Chaudhary, a professional Unity developer, and I create Unity learning based content for beginners. I have made a complete video about Unity interface and navigations. Do check it out. The link is mentioned in the I button above. Our first topic for the day is game objects. We'll learn about game objects, how to create them, how to control them, etc. As per Google, game objects are the fundamental objects in Unity that represents characters, props and scenery. Basically, game objects are empty containers which hold different components. The look and the behavior of the game object depends on the components attached to it. Let me try to explain you in Unity. In scene view, if you add any object, it automatically gets added in a hierarchy. So these are called game objects. Now the look for this game object, for this example, if I see capsule, the look is mattered because of this mesh renderer. If I turn it off, it will be disabled. Okay, so this is the look. So if I take another example, main camera. Here the camera component is attached to this game object, so that's why it is behaving as a main camera. Take another example, directional light. Here you can see a light component is added to this object, that's why this is behaving as a directional light. If I turn this component off, then you can see it becomes black. So for every game object there is a common factor. Every game object will have a transform component. If I try to create a new one, for example, if you right click in a hierarchy and click on the create empty button, and then a new game object is created. Now you can see this transform component is common. So if you create a new one, a transform component will be there. Now let's try to understand how to control these game objects. So there are some 3D models you can see. So if I select the cube, okay, so here you can see one tool is available for you. The first one is view tool. In this selection, you will not be able to select any object, but you will be able to move your viewport to your left, right, up and down. Next tool comes move tool. In this selection, you will be able to move your object toward your X, Y or Z axis. Next comes rotation tool. In rotation tool, you can rotate your object toward your X, Y or Z axis. Next comes scale tool. In this selection, you will be able to scale in one direction, okay, either X, Y or Z, or you can see in the center there is a white square. If you click and drag, so you will be uniform scale. So all direction it will uniform, it will scale. Whenever you are doing any changes in your transform, so you can notice here your values are getting changed. Okay. So now under scale, if I change it to 1, 2, 1, so it will look something like that. And next to scale there is a lock icon. Okay, if I click on it, so it will maintain the same scale. So if I change any one value, so make it 2, so immediately the Y value change. So it is uniformly scaling. Let's turn it off again. Next comes rect tool. Rect tool is to increase or decrease any object size. Next comes transform tool. In this tool, you will get all this transform under one. So you will be able to move, rotate and scale with the same tool. But one thing to notice, in transform tool, you will not be able to scale in one axis. You have to scale it uniform. Next we will explore hierarchy. The hierarchy window contains list of every game object in the current scene. Okay, first let me reset this. To reset this transform, I can click on this triple dot and click on reset. So it will become 0, 0, 0 position and the scale will be 1, 1, 1. Okay, now what's the purpose of this hierarchy window? You can rename any object. For example, if this is a cube, I'll first click, I'll select, and then in next click, I'll rename as my cube. Another option to rename is select the game object, go to the top right here, this section, and then you can select and rename. Another thing you can do in hierarchy window is to have a parent-child relationship. So let me change it to 2D mode. Okay, so now I have all these objects. So first I'll click on this cube. So cube, if I select this move tool, I can see the pivot is in the center. Okay, and if I try to rotate this, it will be rotating from center. But if I want to rotate it from the top left corner, then what I can do? So what I can do here right click, I create an empty game object. Okay, I'll say parent cube and move. First I'll give a position for this. Let me reset the position first. Reset, select the move tool and move it to somewhere top left. Okay, somewhere there. And now if I select my cube and drag it under parent cube, you can see it's gray mark, and leave it. So now this is the parent and this is the child. If I select the parent and now rotate, now you can see it's rotating from that pivot. And if I want to rotate this individual, then I can rotate it. Next we'll understand components. Components are the functional pieces of every game object. Components contains properties which you can edit to define the behavior of a game object. So now in Unity you can see there is a game object called my camera. If I select this one, here is a camera component and these are properties for this component. So now let me change it to 2D view to give you an example. So now you can see the far distance is too much for the camera. Now if I change it to 10, now you can see the rectangle reduced. So this is the near plane and the far plane. So the objects are still within the range. So that's why you are able to say it. If I change it to somewhere around 8, now it is out of that rectangle, so you cannot see the objects. Let's understand with another example. Let's select the directional light. Here you can see a light component, okay, where you can change the light type. You have this many light type options. You can change the color, okay, somewhere red, green, or whichever color you want. So that means you are changing the property of this component to behave. So intensity, if I reduce or increase, it is the brightness, you can see. Let's revert it to 1. Okay, so there are multiple options, whether you want shadow, no shadow, soft shadow, all these options are there. So these are called properties and these are called components. So Unity has so many components. If you click on add component, you can get a list of full components. You can go to any of these component and you can explore each one of them. Our last topic for the day is hotkeys. To speed up our development and designing, we frequently have to use these navigation tools. It will be very tedious job if you have to go and select tool from this menu. So Unity has given us few hotkeys. So Q is for view tool. In your keyboard, if you press Q, the view tool gets selected. W is for move tool. E for rotation. R for scaling tool. T for rect tool. And Y for transform tool. Apart from this, if you select any game object and press F, then it gets framed in the center of the scene. There might be a situation where you need to look the objects very closely. As this window looks very small, what you can do, you can click on this triple dot and then click on the maximize. So scene window get maximized. Again click on this triple dot and turn off maximize. So this is how you can maximize and minimize. Now there is a shortcut for this. If you keep your mouse cursor over your scene window and press shift and spacebar, it will get maximized. Again, if you press shift and spacebar, it will get minimized. So here your cursor is important. Wherever is your cursor and pressing shift and spacebar, that window will get maximized. You might get a situation where you need to place the same game object multiple times. For example, if I have to have multiple copies of my cube, what I can do, I can select the object, right click, copy, and if I have to paste it under the same parent, then select the parent, right click and paste as a child. Or if you want to paste it individually, then right click and paste. So it will paste as an independent game object. So the shortcut key for duplicate will be very helpful for this. So if I select the game object and press Ctrl D, it will create a copy of the same game object, and now you can place it wherever you want. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video till the end. I hope you find this video informative and you got some insights about game object, hierarchy, components, and some useful hotkeys. If you have any question for me, then please comment down below, or you can send me your query via email. The email ID is mentioned at the bottom right corner of the screen. Do consider visiting the channels displaying on the screen if you want to learn Unity in Hindi or Bengali. See you in the next video. Have a good time.